Alright guys, so the Field Command modding team, or at least one of the modders from that team, have released a brand new mod on Shogun 2, focused on primarily the battle side of things, and it is fantastic. Field Command Sengoku is, as the team describe it, a light-touch, hardcore overhaul of existing Shogun 2 systems with the aim of creating a more historically accurate, realistic, and challenging game experience for veterans of the Total War series. Unlike FCN, this doesn't do stuff like enable battles of tens of thousands of troops or introduce loads of new battle maps and lots of new reskin unit rosters or anything like that, but it does make hundreds of changes and improvements to Shogun 2 that, in my opinion, is definitely worth checking out, especially compared to older mods that haven't had an update in ages. Just like in Field Command Napoleon then, the aim here is to create an experience on the battles that is more engaging and accurate. I've been playing it for a couple of weeks now alongside the vanilla campaign, and while there are a few changes I don't exactly agree with, overall it does honestly do wonders to make it less arcadey and more realistic, especially to battle AI and unit behavior. To be clear, it does make improvements to the campaign as well, but the focus is really on the battles. Before diving straight in, if you don't own Shogun 2 or its DLCs, you can pick it up with a massive 90% discount, 90% on Instant Gaming, a reputable game key reseller that I've been using for a little while now. They have a great roster of games with the rest of the Total War titles on sale as well, and loads of others like Ghost of Tsushima, Elden Ring, Crusader Kings, or even Manor Lords. I actually picked up EU4 the other day for the first time, and I am loving it. We all have much bigger discounts than before, and so if you're thinking about buying, make sure to click the link below in the video description to get your games for cheap and support the channel at the same time. Now let's get back to the video. First off, Field Command Sengoku, like its Napoleon counterpart, is about more historically accurate gameplay. CA didn't exactly do a bad job with historical accuracy in Shogun 2, but as with all games, it definitely could have done better. Some compromises have to be made to make the game fun, but CA didn't go far enough in this department, so Field Command Sengoku tries to fix this issue by adjusting features such as clan and government names like Hattori to Igaiki and shogunate to Bakufu or Kampaku, depending on the clan, right the way down to unit functionality changes, replacing the fictional katana cavalry with historical Chukibatai and others. On the other hand, though, something I'm not a massive fan of in this effort to change names and make things more accurate is the removal of the Yari Wall and Rank by Fire. These formations are currently not present in the mod, and while they do force you to play very differently to how you normally would with units that have access to them, in my opinion, they do have a place in the gameplay, and a compromise should be made here on the part of the modders to keep these in. Kind of in a similar vein to this, ahistorical units like the Otomo Tercios have been removed from play for the most part as well. I'm still exploring what else has been removed, but yeah, essentially I like the design philosophy that is being done here. I just think it would be best to replace these units with others of a similar role than remove them completely. From a purely mechanical perspective as well, there have been plenty of sweeping changes here. Unit movement speed, terrain modifiers, fatigue modeling, morale, mass, height, and projectile behavior have all been relentlessly tweaked for the most realistic possible combat within the confines of the Warscape engine. On the battle side, things don't feel like vanilla at all, so you really have to adapt your strategies. Ashigaru units will rout often, samurai will rack up tons more kills than usual, and there are checks and balances in place on the campaign side as well to ensure this is balanced with things like dynamic unit caps, which is the first time I'm seeing this in Shogun 2. So all in all, you have a battle system that forces very different tactics than what we're used to in vanilla in a good way, and together with balancing between clan rosters, the economy system, the building system, and maintaining efficient armies, and fighting against enemy armies with much better recruitment, this is really a positive take on how battles in Shogun 2 can be. The real point of Field Command Sengoku, though, in my impression, is to turn the Sengoku campaign into more of a pike and shot style warfare for Shogun 2, where the primary units in play are spears and guns. Swords, especially at the hands of peasants, are definitely not viable, although with high-tier professional samurai, you will essentially cut through everything like butter, and gunpowder gameplay is much more important, so naturally having spears to protect your flanks and countering cavalry that may charge in is the name of the game, and you really have to do that because cavalry is insanely powerful here. What this leads to is a much more tactical game compared to the vanilla, where it was mostly melee and archer warfare with some gunpowder coming later on. Now it's much more about frontal defense with katana samurai in reserve and teppo gunners really taking up the role of damaging enemy armies at range, and it is super fun. As with other mods in this genre, there is an overhaul of the sound and visual effects, and I have to say they are immensely good. Some really impressive visual effects, especially for smoke, explosions, the teppo gunpowder units just come alive, and the sound effects are a big improvement on the base game as well. Sometimes I feel like there are better sound effects out there. I'm a big fan personally of how Darth did them, but still, it's very nicely done overall and does make a big impact on the enjoyment of your battles, the immersion here. If you don't enjoy them as much, by the way, there is a submod hopefully coming out soon to revert them back to vanilla, or, I mean, I don't know, there may even be a way indeed to use sound effects from other mods completely. I haven't tested this out myself, but I'm sure there is a way. Finally, I just want to mention that there are a few big changes on the campaign side as well. Even though this is primarily focused on the battles, some of these major changes to AI priorities, especially geared towards making the great clans expand faster and more aggressively, are all very noticeable. Plus, the overall AI recruitment and army rosters that you may face in the battlefield, they're very varied, and there is a better balance around this idea of being a Shogun 2 pike and shot mod. More gunpowder, more Yari, and generally better cav recruitment as well. There are still a few things that can be tweaked here and there. I mean, AI isn't exactly something that's always going to be right. It can't be truly fixed, but the effort here does make a noticeable difference in how the gameplay plays out. It's great, but you still may run into some issues. Now, there are some mods that I would suggest you play with Field Command Sengoku. I've tested them out. They work beautifully with the mod, and they are recommended on the Steam page as well, so you can just go in there and try them out right away. They are the unofficial Shogun 2 patch 1.7, Bull Gods Daimyos, improved armor visuals, less uniform colors, more accurate armor reskin, Marco's bit better map, and the old 10th anniversary weather tweaked. I've tested other mods to see if they're compatible. I'd love to be able to see these strongholds of the samurai or moss work here, but I don't think they do just yet. And I've dropped links in the video description for all these other mods as well. Just make sure you've got them in the correct load order and you should be good to go. Overall, Field Command Sengoku is a very decent effort to essentially create a more interesting and challenging Shogun 2, both on the campaign and on the battlefield. It's, I would say, a modernized take on what warfare can be like in this game, a heavy reliance on guns and spears, which I really like. Never seen any other mod do this in the game before. It's very well balanced. The various naming conventions, mechanical changes all make things feel more historically accurate, and even though some features or units have been removed that I do enjoy playing with, fire rockets namely, I still do think that having all of that removed just makes you strategize your recruitment a lot more and makes the battles way more interesting. There are some great ideas here, very well implemented, so if you want to take another stroll down into Shogun 2 lane, I would really recommend you try this out. And that's it for today, guys. Development of Field Command Sengoku is ongoing, but things are slowly ramping up to be completed, especially on the campaign side of things as well. And I've seen that the modder Chewy will be moving on to a new mod, Field Command Boshin, which, as you can tell, will take place during the Boshin War. Lots of potential for great battle gameplay there as well. I cannot wait to see how it gets on with that. And if you're interested in talking to the modder about the campaign, the battles, other players for co-op as well, or to keep up to date with the latest news on the mod, then you should join the Discord I've linked below. And if you don't even own the game yet, don't forget to use my instant gaming link below to get it and the DLCs for up to 90% off, which is pretty amazing. Let me know your thoughts about Field Command Sengoku in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel for more videos exploring old and new Total War mods just like this. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.